may be weeks away. We know meteorological fall is starting soon, but pumpkin spice season has already begun. As fans of the pumpkin spice latte, they look forward to ordering the drink earlier and earlier each year. Now, just last week, the fall menu returned to Starbucks, and stores are marking what considers the unofficial start of the season. Now, in addition to the highly anticipated pumpkin spice latte, the new iced apple crisp non-dairy cream chai has joined the full lineup of fall favorites.
Seasonal products, new item additions, those are definitely things that can boost sales. And since they know in the past that Starbucks, the pumpkin spice latte has been a big seller, I really am not surprised by the earlier push.
And Starbucks knows that there are some people that hate pumpkin and they prefer apple, and some people would even prefer caramel as well. So it starts the debate. Ask your household which one is truly the best.